Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will immerse ourselves in 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup. Solomon Northup's 12 Years a Slave, published in 1853, is a harrowing autobiographical account of his abduction and forced enslavement in the American South. Born a free man in New York, Northup was kidnapped and sold into slavery in 1841, enduring 12 years of brutal servitude before regaining his freedom. The book serves as a personal narrative of survival and as a powerful condemnation of slavery's cruelty. Plot summary. One bright spring morning in 1841, Solomon Northup, a free African-American man, walks the streets of Saratoga Springs, New York. A husband and father, Solomon enjoys a peaceful life, earning a living as a skilled violinist and farmer. With a wife and 3 children at home, he has no reason to suspect the storm that is about to engulf his life. When 2 men, Brown and Hamilton, approach him with the offer of a well-paying job as a violinist in Washington, D.C., Solomon sees an opportunity to earn extra income for his family. The offer seems simple enough, and he agrees to accompany them. However, after a celebratory night in Washington, Solomon wakes to find himself in chains. Dazed and disoriented, he is confined in a dark, fetid cell. The 2 men who had promised him work are nowhere to be found. Instead, Solomon is accused of being a runaway slave from Georgia. His protests fall on deaf ears. Stripped of his identity, his free papers stolen, Solomon realizes he has been kidnapped. With brutal efficiency, he is shackled, sold, and shipped south. Solomon's journey into the heart of slavery begins on a steamboat bound for New Orleans. The stifling hold of the ship is filled with others like him, human beings robbed of their freedom, sold as property. Upon arrival, Solomon is given a new name, Platt. His life as a free man is erased, and his new existence as a slave begins. He is sold to William Ford, a relatively kind man by comparison to others Solomon will encounter. Ford runs a small plantation in Louisiana, and though he owns slaves, he treats Solomon with a degree of respect, recognizing his intelligence and skills. Yet despite Ford's decency, the institution of slavery is an unforgiving master. Financial pressures force Ford to sell Solomon to John Tybats, a cruel and violent carpenter. Tybats treats Solomon with open contempt, and their relationship quickly becomes hostile. In one terrifying incident, Tybats attempts to lynch Solomon, leaving him dangling from a tree. Only Ford's intervention spares Solomon from death. However, the respite is temporary. Solomon is constantly reminded that his life is worth no more than his ability to work, and any misstep could lead to deadly consequences. After a series of transfers, Solomon eventually finds himself in the hands of Edwin Epps, a plantation owner whose cruelty knows no bounds. Epps takes perverse pleasure in beating his slaves, especially Patsy, a young woman who, despite her hard work, endures the brunt of his violent temper. Patsy, whose beauty and strength catch Epps's obsessive attention, becomes a victim of both his sexual advances and his wife's jealousy. She is beaten savagely, with no one to protect her. Solomon can only watch, powerless to intervene, as Patsy's spirit is crushed under the weight of her suffering. The harsh conditions on Epps's plantation are unrelenting. Day after day, Solomon toils in the cotton fields under the scorching Louisiana sun, his body worn from the lashes of the whip. The cruelty he witnesses, Patsy's abuse, the inhumane treatment of fellow slaves, wears on him, but his spirit remains unbroken. Solomon holds onto the hope of freedom, though with each passing year, the weight of despair grows heavier. Throughout his 12 years of enslavement, Solomon never gives up his attempts to escape or communicate with the outside world. His intellect and resilience become his most valuable tools in his quest for freedom. He befriends Samuel Bass, a Canadian carpenter working on the Epps plantation. Bass, an outspoken critic of slavery, is shocked to learn of Solomon's true identity. With Bass's help, Solomon finally manages to get a letter to his friends and family in New York, detailing his plight and pleading for help. The wheels of justice move slowly, but they do move. Solomon's letter reaches Henry Northup, a family friend and lawyer who immediately begins working on his case. Months later, Henry arrives in Louisiana with papers proving Solomon's free status. Accompanied by local officials, he confronts Epps and demands Solomon's release. Though Epps is enraged at losing one of his most valuable slaves, he has no legal grounds to keep Solomon any longer. After 12 long years of brutal servitude, Solomon is finally free. The moment is bittersweet, for while he regains his freedom, he leaves behind Patsy and the others who remain in bondage. The weight of their suffering stays with him as he travels north to reunite with his family. The joy of returning home is tempered by the knowledge of the countless souls still enduring the horrors of slavery. Solomon returns to his wife and children in New York, but he is forever changed, haunted by the memories of those lost years and the people he left behind. Though free once more, Solomon's ordeal leaves an indelible mark on his soul. His return to liberty is not just a personal triumph, but a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable cruelty. The chains that bound him may have been broken, but the scars of slavery remain. That's all for now, but if this book spoke to you, Solomon Northup has more waiting for you. Find them in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Solomon Northup's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.